Hello, good evening, everyone. I'm Anderson Haran. Good to see you all again with an interesting topic with some interesting people. Today, we are going to discuss about a topic that is extremely important. We all have different hobbies, but I think reading is one of the best hobbies that anyone can have because it calms your mind, it helps you with your imagination, not like social media where there are, you know, each 15 seconds there are different types of videos. You keep on scrolling, every video is different, your brain is getting stressed out and all the different types of content starts to play inside your head. But when you read a book, it's calm, it's almost equal to meditation. It's not meditation, but it's almost equal to meditation. It calms your mind. So reading is a great habit that all of us should have. It helps us with thinking, imagination, because thinking is the important one. If something can make you think and process, that's one of the best hobbies. All right, without further ado, let's invite our first speaker to talk about their favorite book and why they love it, or why they'd like to recommend that book to someone else. Let's start with Sithira. Over to you, Sithira.
Hello everyone, I'm Sidhara Kolambaki and I'm 15 years old. Now think of you as a 14-year-old teenager and you're an international spy. You have no choice but to join the MI6 in London and you have to track down a billionaire who is going to kill half of London. Now that's what Alex Rider had to had to face in the book. So, my favorite book is the Alex Rider and the Stormbreaker. So, this book is written by Anthony Horowitz and is action filled, adventure filled, crazy, and so good book. Now, I would recommend this book because of several features. The first thing is that it has a great plot and it's very entertaining. It has great characters. Now, about the plot, it starts with a structured manner. You start with feeling that nothing's gonna happen, but then suddenly something happens and it goes on, the story goes on. It's just amazing. And the characters are very well developed by the author, so they we they go on the characters, they introduce themselves in the book, and it's just amazing how they develop further. Now the second thing is that it has many plot twists. Now what is a plot twist? As you like, if you don't know, a plot twist is something that you don't expect the plot to be. You feel very surprised when that happens. Now this book has a lot of plot twists, and I recommend this book because of that too, because most of you might love plot twists, and it's just amazing to be surprised. Now the third thing about this book is that it's the meaning of the book is very great. Now, most of you won't get the meaning of the book, but I personally I like to get the meaning of the why that book. Now, why the what the author meant from that book. So in this book, Alex Rider, the Stormbreaker, you have this 14-year-old kid and he's an international spy and he tracks down many cases, and the case in this book is that he goes and tracks down a billionaire who wants to kill half of London and half of England. Sorry. So I think it's just amazing. You know, the meaning of this book is that, you know, it's not, you think that being a spy is very, you know, very fun, but in reality this being a spy goes in both ways. You face life threatening situations, and you face many situations with the real world. It connects with the real world, and I love it because of that. Now I hope you all read this book and have a try. It's a very great book. Thank you.
Thank you, Sithira. And also, if anyone is thinking, oh, I don't want to spend a lot of money in books because, I don't know, like it's a lot of money. If you feel that way, first of all, it's not the right thought to have because it's not a big investment. For me, I think a book is one of the best investments you can ever make. And if you really think it's too expensive, there are places where they sell second-hand books. They actually found a lot of 3 to 4 second-hand bookshops I have found where you can get a book for almost 50 to 60% off of the price of the actual price. So there's one in Vellavata, there's one in Mount Lavinia, there's one in Maradana. So you can actually find it. It's really fun. All right, up next, let's have Bhavani. Over to you, Bhavani.
So my favorite book is called Madhur Dua, and it's written by an author called Martin Wickramasinghe. I like this book because it's like a lot adventurous, and it's kind of like an eye-catching story. Like there are a lot of interesting characters, and there, two of these characters are called Jin and Upali. So in this story, they wanted to go to this island called Madodua, which people say that there are a lot of snakes, but they still a lot of hard work and went there. And uh, thank you.
Oh, okay. What happened? Bhavani's like, oh, I lost my thoughts. Does this book have pictures and drawings, or is it just full of text? What kind of book is it?
This it has a lot of pictures.
It has. Okay. All right. So then you can talk about the book in specific because some people love books when it has colorful pictures. Some people love books when it has only pictures. And some people like to buy books that doesn't have any pictures. Some books have colors, some books don't have colors. Some books are big, some books are small. Even those kind of small factors people look at and see if they really want that book or not. It's like the quick judgment of a book. Okay, so I'd be interested to know those as well. All right. Thank you, Bhavani and Sithira. You can leave as well, and both of you can join through the YouTube or Instagram and watch the rest of it. Up next, let's have Oshadi. Over to you, Oshadi.
My favorite book and why I recommend it. My favorite book is Matilda. It is written by Roald Dahl. It is illustrated by Quentin Blake. The book Matilda has a lot of pictures, and it is about a smart girl who can do everything by her own. And she has a brother named Mitchell, and the girl's name is Matilda. I love that book because it is very interesting for me and it is very adventurous. Roald Dahl has written many books such as Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Fantastic Mr. Fox, and many more. Matilda is an interesting book because it has a lot of pages and it has all about the girl, her parents, and Matilda's class teacher was Miss Honey. She was a kind teacher who was very good to all the classmates on her class. But Matilda's principal was Miss Trunchbull. She was always strict, but Matilda was one of the smartest girls who lived in the whole city. When she was about 5 years, she gave a speech which had all the words which adults use. So all the people was very fantastic about her. When she was very small, about 4 years old, she could read all the books, magazines, newspapers, everything. And she did everything by herself. But her parents, Mr. Wormwood and Mrs. Wormwood, didn't care about her at all. So she just didn't matter about her parents and she did what she wanted. But she was the most genius girl on the book. Thank you.
Thank you, Oshadi, for that quick summary. And a lot of people prefer non-fictional books and also fictional books, fiction, non-fiction. So it's not like this one is better than the other one. It depends. If you feel like you want to improve your vocabulary or your creative or imagination, all of that, then yes, you can go for fictional ones. If you want to self-develop, improve a skill, then yes, you can go for non-fiction. So let's make sure that we have a balance of both books, not just focus on one too much. So balancing is important. Up next, let's have Pasan. Over to you, Pasan.
Okay, sir. Can you hear me, sir? Excuse me, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes. Okay, Pasan seems to be having
Excuse me, sir, can you-
some internet issue. Yeah, Pasan, go on.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sir. Hello, my friends. I hope you all are having a great evening, and I'm Pasan. So, I think some of you read books for your enjoyment and also to get knowledge. So, likewise, I also read a book series called The Secret Seven. And by reading this book series, you get something more than enjoyment. This is curiosity. That is curiosity. Because of the adventure and the action they have been done in the book series. So, this curiosity is made in your mind by reading just a single book from the series. And so there are 15 books in this book series, and I have read 9 from them. And when we are talking about the secret
Okay, Pasan seems to be having some internet issues. Up next, let's have Senut. Over to you, Senut.
Hello everyone, my name is Senut Kaunti and I study at Royal College. Have you ever heard of the book called Charlotte's Web? I love it. It's about a pig who gets uh, killed by Christmas, uh, and there is a friend of his who's a spider, and the spider wants to help the pig not to be killed by the farmers. So the spider's name is Charlotte. So uh, Charlotte is trying to make his life special, the pig's life special, by making like webs like that says words like wonderful, terrific, dazzling, all of those words. So the farmers are impressed, and people saw the web, and people got those farmers thought they could have more profit of it. So they kept the pig for their life. So I recommend this story because we have to always, it's about the spider helping the pig to escape his troubles. So we always have to help our friends in need. So that is why I recommend this story to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Senut. That's a good message. So a lot of stories when they have different characters. For example, animals. It could be like not like a real story, but the message can always be real. So yes, I love to encourage everyone to find that book and read as well. And thank you for showing that book, because if you show the book, we might like to buy it. You know, I don't know. When you recommend a book, if you can show that book, it's actually nice. Up next, let's have Sidra. Over to you, Sidra.
Hello everyone, my name is Sidra Shiraz. My favorite book I recommend is A World Below. You might think it's a boring book and you don't need to waste money and spend money on it, but hold that thought. I'm going to tell you why you should never judge a book by its cover. This book is amazing. Let's say you are a normal student in a class and your teacher just told you're going to go to a class trip in a cave. Sounds pretty boring, I know. That's what I thought before I started to read it. Let's say during the class trip, an earthquake. Then you got separated from your class. You have no one. Your teacher is missing. What will you do? This book tells about how these children survive on their own. And just as the cover says, a world below, there is a world below. People from a long time ago settled there and survived on their own. So tells about how these normal children got into something interesting and big, which completely shook their lives from normal to being super interesting. I recommend this book because how interesting it made. Even I got surprised by how it was interesting, since it looked so boring and you couldn't, I didn't want to even read it, but it is interesting, trust me. I love it because of how the students survive in the caves using their trust and hopes and everything, and only what they have. You only have a pair of you have a few snacks, little water, and there are big monsters in the cave. These children have survived through it all and now live to see a daylight again. This is an interesting book if you want adventure and from boring to normal. It's an amazing book. Thank you.
Thank you, Sidra. So it's like an adventurous survival kind of book. Show that book again so everyone can see. All right, that looks nice. So you actually, when you were showing the book, you were like, "This is the." You quickly kept it down. So I'm like, "Oh wait, let me see that again." Yeah. All right. Thank you, Sidra, for joining and sharing your thoughts. You can leave as well. Up next, let's have Lukman. Over to you, Lukman.
So many books to choose from. The Boy in the Striped Pajamas, Harry Potter, The Unadoptable. What should I go for? My favorite book is The Unadoptables. This book was written by Hannah Took and it was shortlisted for the MA Spa Bath competition. From the formidable hands of the matron to the rickety old windmill, this story takes you through a heartbreaking journey with 5 orphans left alone, homeless, and with a really, really mean matron. This matron wants to sell them off to a merchant, a ruthless merchant named Rothman. He needed 5 servants. He didn't have a wife, but he had a worker and a dog. And when this happened, the 5 orphans tried to escape, of course. They didn't want to come into the hands of the ruthless Rothman. So they began their journey down the Amsterdam River and went all the way up to the rickety old windmill where Nilu's parents lived. When they went there, hoping to find their parents, although they were from several different families, the main character in the story is Nilu. So she was looking for her parents in the windmill, a 6-story windmill, but nothing was to be found. She spoke to the neighbors, and the neighbors said that they thought that one of the neighbors said that their bones lie in their beds to this day when they died through the White Plague. And another set of neighbors said that he had problems with the law, so at the dead of night, on a full moon, they had run away. Nilu didn't believe this, of course, because when she had come to their beds, there was nothing left, and she just couldn't believe that her parents would be lawbreakers. How she had come to know the address was that the matron had been torturing them, and she had a small doll, and the matron, she ripped it apart. She ripped the head off, and inside there was a chit saying, "I found you under the stars and lost you under the moon." By doing this, the author was able to attract my attention. I just couldn't understand it. And then there were the coordinates. So their brother Egg was able to find it. So they made supplies. They had their own money because they sold dolls. Because their parents, Nilu's parents, was Mr. and Mrs. Poppenmaker. And they were fine. They used to find a silk in Amsterdam, and they were known for how great their silks were. So anyways, I won't bore you, but I have to say that it was quite heartbreaking when I found out that Nilu's mother was actually Liesel, who she thought was her sister. And her father was mysteriously had been missing for a long time. And her cousin actually lived next to her, Edda Finkelstein. So this story has a lot of twists and turns and grabbed me by the neck at the start of the story and didn't let go until that last page turned. So this is a book that you should read, and I hope you'd read it. So you might want to look for this in the library. Thank you. And this book is a read that you shouldn't miss. Thank you.
Thank you. I actually like the cover of the book as well. It's like a lot of fire and colorful stuff. Can you show the book cover again?
Yes. The back is a bit more interesting.
Yes. Nice. Yes. Super. Okay. Thank you, Lukman, for sharing that. You can leave as well. And up
Thank
next,
you.
let's have Aisha Nuha. Over to
Reading is one of my favorite hobbies. I like many books. Among them, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. It was written by Mr. Roald Dahl in 1964. This story's main character is a poor boy called Charlie who won the golden ticket for the tour through the most magnificent chocolate factory, which was run by the, the special candy maker Willy Wonka. Willy Wonka released 5 tickets and Charlie was a luckiest. He accompanied his grandpa for the tour. I enjoyed this book because it made me laugh aloud many times, and this story has some characters who are very funny and make mistakes and end with tricky solutions. I like stories which end with happy things. This storybook is mix of fun, excitement, and humor. Not only this story teaches us that we should not be greedy of anything and also be kind to our elders. So I suggest you all to read this sweet, adventurous book. Thank you.
Yes, Yusuf, go on.
Mainly, at school, I mainly read about a book that is called Beast Fest in my library, and it is little bit like different from all the other ones I read, and it little bit like has something that teach me also, like sometimes that teach me about bravery and never to give up. And I also there's a lot of different types that have like a lot of beasts they will defeat and different characters. The main character is someone named called Steve, and he will just hold a sword and a shield, and his main goal is to like protect the world from the beast and defeat the evil wizard. So that's only his main thing to do to save the world. And he is brave and strong and never give up and has some lot of like scary adventures, and sometimes yeah he will win and sometimes lose, and then he will return to beat him like that. And I pretty much like it because it has a lot of different things that can come in, like different words and different items and like different explorations, adventures, and to increase some things for your reading. And it's also a big book, like up to 100 pages, and I read it pretty much. Yeah. And it's interesting for me, and I hope for you also it's interesting. Thank you.
Thank you, Yusuf. Yes, you said it's a 100-page book, so obviously, I think it must be like a easy to read book because in 100 pages you can finish. And if there are other books in that same series, then yes, they can buy those as well. Up next, let's have Talib. Talib, over to you. Talib, are you here? Okay, Talib is not here, so we'll come back to Talib after we play some videos. So we got some video submissions, so let's
I'm Biruti
go to
Sen.
the first video, everyone.
Hi, I'm Biruti Senathilaka. So, why do you like books? Books are not only like storybooks. We could say our school textbooks, they're also books. Books are something that we could collect more information. So, why I love story books is because books are friends who never leave our side. I find this saying to be very true, as books have always been there for me. I enjoy reading books. They have the power to help us travel through the world without even moving us from our places. In addition, books also enhance our imagination. However, I have read so many interesting and not that much interesting books. But the book that I can't never forget is Dark Diaries. It is written by Rachel Ronnie Russell. I started to read it 1 year ago. So, how did I get to know this book? Yes, my sister told me that she went to the school library and she found a book called Dog Diaries, and it is very interesting. You should read it. Then I had the feeling that I really wanted to read it, and then I went to my school library, and then I found one of Dog Diaries series, and then I started reading the book. And while I'm reading the book, I didn't even know that the time is going, that I really continuously reading the book. I feel like I really like the book, and that was amazing. And after that, I told my mother that I wanted two books, Dog Diaries books, for my birthday, and she gifted me one of two Dog Diaries books. I'm so happy. And you know why I like the book? Because it has so many big and small letters, and it is a diary that has written by a girl called Nikki. And Nikki has two friends called Chloe and Zoe. She's a trans student, and it's about her life that she's every day writing in the diary. And it has so many drawings that she have drew, like she's good at art, like it's like comic. I really love the books that with the art and like drawings, and it has so many good quotes too. And I even improved my English by reading this book. I get to know so many new English words, and then I started to read that, and then it's really good that I even improved my English from the book. So I really recommend you guys. It's so beautiful. You guys just need to uh, read that, and that's a very good book. I really love that book. Thank you.
All right, that was Binodi. Talib, are you here?
Yes, sir.
Yes, let's have the camera on, and then we can share about the book.
Hi, everyone. My name is Talib Shyam. Everyone loves to read. Likewise, I love reading too. Reading is one of my hobby, and I have read many books. Book that inspired me. The name of that inspired me is Oliver Twist, by the famous author Charles Dickens. Books written by Charles Dickens have been interesting, and as he had incorporated many incidents of his real life. Oliver Twist is a story about a poor boy who went through struggles and hurdles in life from a very young age. But despite all his difficulties, he stood strong and he became a rich young man. Through this story, I realized that life can always be unfair to us. But that doesn't mean we should give up our dreams and goals. We should be calm and have confidence in whichever situation we may be. I really enjoyed this book and I hope you would too. Thank you.
Thank you, Talib. Yes, up next we have Abdul Bari as well. Let's have Abdul Bari. Over to you, Abdul Bari. Abdul Bari, are you here?
Aisha Namira. Today the topic is about my favorite reading book. My favorite reading book's name is Secret Princess the Magic Necklace. It's about two girls. Their names are Mia and Charlotte. One day they got separated. One was going to America and one was staying in US. So then their friend they have seen when given them 2 special necklaces. It was half-heart pendant. They both wear it at the same time and they were happy. But they forgot about getting separated. Then the last day when they got separated, they were a little sad. But then when they were going, at least they realized their half-heart pendant was there. Why I like this book is because there is 2 friends. And for that, I made lots of friends. Thank you.
Alright, that was Aisha, everyone. I don't know if Abdul Bari is here. Abdul Bari, are you here? Okay, Abdul Bari, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can start. Okay, he has some technical difficulties, so let's play the next video.
Sir, I am traveling.
Let's remove Abdul Bari from the main screen because there's a lot of sound coming. Okay, next video.
My favorite book. I read many books. Among all of those, my most favorite book is Secret Garden. It is the most interesting book I have ever read. I like to read and write the book because it is very interesting and amazing to me. The Secret Garden is one of my favorite books because the story is very simple and even it is very easy to understand, and it is written by Franz Bernard. Thank you.
Okay, so that was very short and sweet. I actually wanted to know a little bit more about that book because I kept on hearing about that book a lot. So everybody, make sure that you visit the closest bookshop. Check what kind of collections they have. It could be fictional books, non-fictional books. Just go through, and I'm pretty sure even if you're not like the typical reading person, you will find at least one book that would be interesting, and you might become a reader in the areas that you want to improve on. And also it will help you improve your skills too. With that being said, I'm hoping to see you all next week. Bye bye.